guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine. So today I've got another Gilmore Girls video for you, and in case you're new here or in case you didn't know, I am in the middle of creating a Gilmore Girls save file in The Sims 4. So on my channel I've already got loads of videos of me creating Gilmore Girls content for you. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link of a playlist in the video and in the description box down below. So go check that out if you're interested. But yeah, this is actually a build that I've already done, so you'll know by the title and thumbnail that it's Luke's Diner. And yeah, this was previously in a different video on my channel already, but it was such an old video. Like, it was literally one of the very first ones that I posted where, you know, I didn't even have a voiceover yet and the editing was really bad. And you'll notice from the footage, I'm going to point it out and you won't be able to unsee it once you've seen it. So I'm sorry in advance for that, but you'll notice that there's a black line, like a bar at the bottom of the video. And then because I actually end up updating this build in the second half of this video, you'll see that it disappears and the shape of the video changes. So before you get really confused, that is why. It's just because it's old footage. I didn't fully know how to film yet probably because it's such an old video, so I'm sorry about that in advance. But I thought that I would update it because some of my Gilmore Girls videos have been really popular, and this one obviously didn't have quite so many views as my other ones just because of the time that I posted it. And although I know my channel is going to grow and evolve in the future, and I'll probably look back on every video and feel the same way, I wanted to at least add things like my video intro and a voiceover and proper screenshots to the two main builds from this save file, so Luke's Diner and the girls' house, Rory and Lorelai's house. And also I wanted to make them better because they were a couple of my first builds, like I say, so the quality of the builds weren't as high. I just wanted to take the opportunity to redo them before it's too late, basically. So that's what I'm doing, in case you're confused, in case you've already seen this video before and you're like, what, why has she re-released it? That's why. So you'll see me change the roof using the platform tool, which I'm really happy about because up until now it's been really difficult to actually manage roofs from terraced builds, and previously you'd only be able to use the half wall tool, which obviously creates like a hollow gap in between at the top of the build. So I could fill that in with a platform tool, which I was really excited about. And then I also redid the interior of Luke's apartment, which I start making in the Taylor's soda shop and library video. So if you want to see how I built the floor plan of like Luke's office and things like that as well, maybe I'll add like a card to this video so that'll take you there. But yeah, because in the first attempt at me building Luke's apartment, I looked at reference pictures, but I didn't go back to any episodes and really try and look in detail at the layout of the apartment. It was a bit of a rough job, so I decided to go back and do it properly this time. And even now, I think it was limited by the fact that the stairs are in a bit of an odd place in relation to the space that I had available upstairs. Although the stairs are placed where I want them to be downstairs, I would have liked them to be shifted over slightly to the left. It was a bit cramped with Jess's bed and the living area. It could have been a bit bigger. So I end up, you'll see me in a minute, I end up shifting the kitchen over just one tile to make room for that. Yes, still, even so, I would have liked a bigger area for that. And then you'll see me later on downstairs, I redo the decoration in Luke's. So I basically add a load of those objects from, I think it's Get Together. They're basically shelves filled with like antique teapots and things like that. And I think it fills the space out a little bit more because I hadn't done a very good job before. I basically just placed a load of shelves that you got in game and they were all really empty and yeah, it just didn't look quite right. So I tried to make it as much like Luke's as possible, and I hope you appreciate it. And I also try to think of a load of memories for you guys, because in these videos I tend to reminisce in favourite episodes that we see the featured builds and things like that in. But with the main builds like Luke's Diner and Lorelai's house, I found it really difficult because they're literally in like every episode, so nothing really stands out, does it? But the ones that came to mind were the time when Luke makes a coffee cake for Rory on her birthday. That was kind of an early episode, I think, and we hadn't really seen that much of a soft side to Luke. He was just kind of a character where he would make sassy remarks here and there, and he was just a potential love interest for Lorelai. But yeah, in that episode it was Rory's birthday and Luke was really sweet and surprised her with a load of balloons on a table with a coffee cake, and he basically tells her off because she sits at a counter on like like a bar stool trying to talk to him, and he tells her she's sitting at the wrong table. She should be sitting at the one with the balloon and cake, and that if she doesn't move it'll be gone in 5 minutes or something like that. And that was one of the moments where you sort of first fall in love with Luke, because at the end of the day he prioritises what is important to Lorelai most, which is her daughter, and that's kind of the sweetest thing that he could do. So yeah, we definitely stand Luke on this channel. Go Luke. And then the other ones that are slightly more entertaining that came to mind when I was thinking of Luke's diner are when Luke expands his apartment and everyone is sitting in his diner and it's sort of raining plaster everywhere. Jess comes down and gives an umbrella to Rory to protect her from like the building materials that are just falling from the ceiling, and Luke is just powering through as if nothing has happened, and I absolutely love him for it. It's such a ridiculous thing, but definitely something that would happen in Stars Hollow. And then, another classic Luke diner memory was when Luke tells Jess off for working in the diner with like a really gruesome, gory t-shirt on. I think it's like a band t-shirt with a horrible picture on it. Yeah, and he tells Jess off and tells him to go upstairs and change. But then he comes down, I don't think it's at the same point, I think later on in the episode, he's like downstairs working and he's wearing a flannel t-shirt and a backwards baseball cap, and he sasses Luke and he's like, oh, I thought it was the uniform, because that's what Luke wears every day. And it's such comedy goals, honestly. Those two together have the best TV relationship. The character development between Jess and Luke is the most beautiful and wholesome thing on television, like in the history of television. You can't fight me on this. It's just so beautiful. Oh, remember when he pushed Jess in the lake? I think that's definitely my favourite Luke and Jess moment, when he gets pushed in the lake. That just kills me every time. Oh my god. Oh, anyway. And then the other thing I thought of that wasn't actually that funny, but it was just a standout memory for me, is when Lorelai agrees to paint the diner with Luke, and there's a cute moment where they find a note written on the wall by Luke's dad, because obviously the diner used to be his dad's hardware store that he converted into a diner. So they find this old note written on the wall and they decide to save it when they paint, so they won't paint over that spot. And it's just like a really cute bonding moment for the two. But then in the end, Lorelai actually stands him up, because, well, what happens is she has a bit of a disastrous family meal with her parents, who she doesn't get on very well with, and Christopher, who is Rory's dad, or the father of Lorelai's child, but they are obviously broken up at that point, but they have a bit of a weird toxic relationship. They actually sleep together, I think just out of stress of dealing with this evening, Lorelai and Christopher, and there was obviously feelings between them as well, so that was obviously a factor, but I think to make themselves feel better they slept together. And then Lorelai obviously forgets about poor Luke, who she's supposed to paint the diner with, and that honestly breaks my heart. And she remembers in the middle of the night, I think, and then she wakes up really early and comes and apologizes to him, and it's a really weird conversation. And I read on Reddit the other day, like, someone was surprised at how the conversation went, because Lorelai and Luke aren't together, and it wasn't really a date, it wasn't officially a date, so he has no reason to be upset by her sleeping with Christopher in theory, but she actually had a really stressful evening, and that would be reason enough to stand a friend up. Obviously it's a little bit more complicated than that, and I think I would justify what happened by saying that Lorelai knows that Luke had a crush on her, and she obviously slept with someone else, and she's quite, although she doesn't always do the right thing, she's quite a principled person, and so I think she would definitely consider it lying to Luke if she missed out the information about her and Christopher basically getting together. And he does say, he's like, oh, did something come up, or someone, I think is the quote, and she kind of implies that, yeah, she slept with Christopher. So I think that's why, that's how I would justify that moment, because they are right. Like, it is, for a normal person, they probably would have been like, well, you know, we're not together, so I have every right to have done what I did. It was just a really, really stressful evening, and obviously I forgot to paint your diner, and whether or not I slept with Christopher is none of your business, but But yeah, I kind of feel like she would definitely feel bad about misleading Luke and letting him think that, you know, she didn't have feelings for someone that she did and that she acted upon them. So, oh, you know I give Rory like a whole load of stick in these videos, and I always slag her off and say how mean she is to boys and everything, but Lorelai can be really horrible too. But the thing about Lorelai is, right, she knows she's awful. She mistreats men because she's just really dysfunctional, and she's grown up not having a clue how to deal with her feelings and just knowing that she's doing the wrong thing, but she always acknowledges it and apologizes for it. Every single time she's mean quite a lot, but she acknowledges it and she makes it right. Whereas Rory just pretends that she's like this angel that couldn't possibly do anything wrong and encourages people to feel sorry for her. And I'm sorry, I've got to turn this into another Rory rant, and I'm sorry. I know I do it too often. That is how I justify Lorelai's behaviour, because, you know, I love Lorelai and I could never slag her off. My mum really doesn't like Lorelai. I think she thinks that Lorelai uses men, especially Luke, because she fancies Luke. I mean, who doesn't? Me too, mum. But I feel like I identify slightly more with Lorelai than I do with Rory, because I definitely am the kind of person that would put my big fat foot in my mouth and make a situation awkward at any opportunity. But I am very self-aware and I know my flaws like her, and I try my best to make it right wherever I can, whereas I don't think Rory always does that. So sorry, not sorry. But anyway, I'm coming up to the end of the build now, so I hope you like what I did with Luke's apartment and Luke's diner as well. I hope that you don't think it's really weird that I'm doing two versions of the same video, but I just wanted to do it right because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and this is a bit of a pet project of mine. So I wanted to get it right and have a version of this build in particular that I was proud of on my channel. Oh, and you'll see there that I just put the no shoes sign, and that, in case you're wondering why on earth did she put that there, that is because Luke has a no mobile phone sign in his diner, and there is no mobile phone sign in The Sims 4. If I am not mistaken, let me know if there is and I will change it for when I put my save file together. But yes, anyway, that is the end of the build. If you liked it, please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye guys.